You're watching Football Daily, and here's our 11 of the biggest bargain transfers of the summer just gone. Goalkeeper Tom Heaton. He may now be approaching the twilight of his career, but Tom Heaton is still respected as one of the most consistent goalkeepers in the Premier League. Burnley ended last season in a bit of a predicament. They had 3 shot stoppers, all of whom had significant Premier League experience and have been capped for England in the last 2 years, with Joe Hart and Nick Pope alongside Heaton. It was therefore inevitable that one of the trio would move on to pastures new over the summer, and despite 200 appearances for the Clarets, 33-year-old Heaton moved to newly promoted Villa for a fee believed to be around £8 million. Now, the former Manchester United player has only started 23 league matches since the beginning of the 2017-18 due to an injury, but keeping 5 clean sheets in that period is a pretty decent return for a club of Burnley's level. In fact, in his double century of Burnley appearances, Heaton kept a whopping 65 clean sheets in total. That's effectively 1 every 3 games and has averaged 3.1 saves per 90, with this peaking at 4 per match during the 2016-17 campaign. A lot of questions have been asked about Aston Villa's summer recruitment, however, taking advantage of Burnley's situation and taking an established Premier League goalkeeper for a very tidy sum is an absolute no-brainer. Defender Enoch Kwarteng. Despite making his debut for Nantes as an 18-year-old back in 2015, Enoch Kwarteng only properly established himself in Las Canarias squad last season, appearing in 30 matches as his side finished a comfy 12th. And in his breakout campaign, Kwarteng certainly impressed, putting in 4.8 tackles and interceptions per 90, that's more than any of his teammates. With his contract expiring in June 2019, you would have expected the club bosses to have tied him down for the foreseeable future, but that was not the case. Instead, the 22-year-old made a 300-kilometre journey south to sign for Bordeaux, a rival with whom they contest the Atlantic Derby. Kwarteng will have to fight for minutes in his right-back berth, with Senegalese international Youssouf Sabaly the named starter, and 19-year-old Italian prospect Raul Bellanova coming in from AC Milan on a free transfer, also in that position. Despite this competition for places, the French youth international has certainly made the best impression at this early stage of the season. On his debut, Bordeaux's 2-0 win over Dijon, Kwarteng made 6 tackles and interceptions, completed 2 dribbles and set up the second goal. It's early days for sure, but with 4 years on his deal, Kwarteng could well prove to be an absolute steal in years to come. Defender Rodrigo Pacquiao. Something of a late bloomer, having appeared to play barely 30 games before a move to Europe at the beginning of last season, 23-year-old Rodrigo Pacquiao is on the way to becoming one of the most underrated centre-backs on the continent. The Brazilian, who came from the same club as Dani Alves, played 28 matches for CSKA Moscow in 2018-19, as well as playing every minute of their brief Champions League campaign. Making almost 4 tackles and interceptions per 90, as well as maintaining an 85% pass success rate, piqued the interest of a few sides throughout Europe. And ultimately, Udinese played Bahia a massive €1.6 million to secure the services of the 6'3" defender. The Little Zebras were definitely in need of defensive reinforcements too, as they were conceding a whopping 16.3 shots per game, reminding you that 2 of the 3 teams to concede more were relegated. And Udinese manager Igor Tudor's faith in the inexperienced defender was immediately rewarded, with him playing the ball out from the back with consummate ease, winning 4 aerial duels and scoring the only goal in a 1-0 victory over Milan to kick off their Serie A campaign. Pacquiao may not have exploded onto the scene like some of his compatriots, but he's certainly developing into a quality centre-half. Defender Demiral. 2019 has been a crazy year for Turkish centre-back Demiral. He started last season as a member of Sporting CP's B team, before going back to his homeland and turning out for Alanyaspor on loan. They made this move permanent for just €3.5 million and then immediately loaned him out to Sassuolo, who in turn bought the 21-year-old for €10 million come the end of the season. In the 2018-19 campaign, the first half spent in the Turkish Super League and the second in Serie A, Demiral made 3.6 tackles and interceptions a game, as well as completing 50 passes at a rate of 87%. So it's no surprise then that Juventus very quickly came knocking, almost doubling Sassuolo's investment within a week, splashing out €18 million to bring the Turkish international to the old lady. It's rare that one player can be a bargain for 2 clubs in the same transfer window, but Demiral looks to have achieved just this. Sassuolo have made a tidy profit, whilst Juventus have invested for the future with centre-backs Leonardo Bonucci and Giorgio Chiellini starting to age out. Juve sporting director Fabio Paratici also suggested Manchester United wanted to buy him this summer. If so, then picking him up for less than €20 million is a very smart move. Defender Junior Firpo. For a couple of seasons now, Barcelona have needed to shore up their left-back spot. Jordi Alba may still be performing at the very highest level and has avoided injury in recent campaigns. He's also 30 now and needs a reliable reserve just in case. And this summer, Barca have finally addressed that issue by bringing in Junior Firpo from Real Betis. The Dominican Republic-born fullback started to feature for Los Verde Blancos in the 2017-18 season and made 43 appearances in Seville before his move to Catalonia. Much more of an attacking outlet than a defensive player, the 23-year-old fits the Barcelona mould perfectly, averaging both one key pass and one dribble per 90. That's not too dissimilar to Alba. Last November was probably when Firpo came to the Blaugrana Chiefs' attention, as he scored one and set up another in a 4-3 victory for Betis at the Camp Nou, in a performance rivaling new teammate Lionel Messi's brace on the day. Just 9 months later, he made his Barcelona debut in the same fixture. It won't be too long until he makes that left-back slot his own. Midfielder Ismael Benicar. Ismael Benicar has experienced plenty of highs and lows in recent years. In 2017, he joined Empoli from Arsenal and helped the team from Tuscany gain promotion from Serie B in his first campaign. Fast forward a season later though to 18-19, and the French-born midfielder has now suffered the pain of relegation, losing their Serie A status on goal difference. So a sour end to the season for the Algerian, but a much happier summer as his country were crowned AFCON champions, with Benicar providing the assist in the final for the all-important goal. And the celebrations didn't stop there, as just weeks later he joined AC Milan on a 5-year contract. A well-deserved move for the former Empoli man, as although he couldn't stop his side dropping down, he still performed admirably in the middle of the park. In 37 appearances, he registered 5 assists, 1.8 dribbles and 2.6 tackles per 90. A tenacious midfielder who loves to get stuck in, he managed more tackles than Juve's Emre Can. The youngster also made the most ball recoveries in Serie A last season with 312. That's seriously impressive. And for just £14 million, Milan have got themselves a very talented youngster. Midfielder Adrian Rabbia. Staying in Italy now, where Juventus have undoubtedly completed one of the signings of the season in Adrian Rabbia. The Frenchman joined the old lady from PSG this summer on a free transfer. Renowned for being fairly hot-headed off the pitch, Rabbia refused to sign a new deal in Paris and was subsequently forced to train with the reserves. The 24-year-old made 227 appearances for PSG and did still contribute to the side's success last season. Before being banished from the first team, he made 14 appearances, even managing 2 goals and an assist. His performance was unaffected by his impending departure, as he made 2.5 tackles a game. That's more than Tottenham's new signing Tanguy Ndombele, and had a pass accuracy of 93%. That's the highest for any midfielder in Ligue 1. The Parisian will have to fight for a starting spot at Juve, though, with such strong competition in the squad. A central midfield that consists of Matuidi, Can, Bentancur, Pjanic and signing Ramsey has given new boss Maurizio Sarri a rather healthy dilemma. Rabiot may have to settle for a rotation system, but we have no doubt he'll make a huge contribution in Turin. Midfielder Renato Sanches. Branded by many as a flop during his time at Bayern, Renato Sanches now has the chance to revive his career at Lille. The Portuguese midfielder joins the French side for a club record transfer fee, £23 million. Sanches came through the ranks at Benfica and made his name just 18 years old, making 35 appearances for the Lisbon side in 15-16. His physical strength, passing ability and skill caught the attention of many and earned him a move to Germany. The youngster joined Bayern for an initial €35 million, the then highest fee for a Portuguese player leaving the domestic league. The 22-year-old struggled for game time, however, and was loaned out to Swansea in 2017, where he failed to impress in just 12 Premier League games. Sanches then returned to Munich and did play a part in last season's success, making 17 appearances and scoring in their title-clinching 5-1 win over Frankfurt. But with most of his minutes coming off the bench, he opted to leave Germany for more playing time. And having sold Nicolas Pepe and Thiago Mendes for huge profit this summer, Lille have invested the money wisely in the likes of Sanches. The Euro 2016 winner should slot straight into the side and can thrive in a team that's built around his talents. Forward Torgan Hazard. Arguably the biggest transfer to have happened this summer was Eden Hazard's £90 million move from Chelsea to Madrid. However, it's his younger brother Torgan who makes our list as one of the best bargain buys this window. The 26-year-old joined Borussia Dortmund for just £23 million from fellow German club Mönchengladbach. Torgan spent 5 seasons at Gladbach with 46 goals and 45 assists in 182 appearances. That's a goal involvement every other game, and much like his older brother, Torgan had one of his best seasons to date last year. In all competitions, he contributed 26 goals to the team and helped his side secure 5th spot in the Bundesliga and a place in the Europa League. With BVB losing Pulisic to Chelsea, Hazard should help fill the void left by the American. The former Lem man is a more than capable replacement. In 18-19 he made 2.2 key passes per 90, that's more than any Dortmund player, and he also managed 2.2 dribbles, only bettered by Jadon Sancho and Kingsley Coman in the entire league. Having revelled in his role at Gladbach, Torgan Hazard is more than ready to take the step up at Dortmund, in our opinion. Forward, Bas Dost. After cashing in over €120 million from the sales of Luka Jovic to Real Madrid, Sebastian Haller to West Ham and Ante Rebic to AC Milan, Frankfurt have finally signed a replacement striker. Bas Dost joins the German side from Sporting Lisbon for just €7 million, an absolute steal when you look at his goal-scoring record. The 30-year-old bagged 93 goals and 15 assists in 127 games for Lisbon. Last term he netted 23 and 33 as Sporting won both the Taça de Portugal and the Taça da Liga, beating Porto on penalties in both. Dost also has experience in the German league, having played for Wolfsburg from 2012 to 2016. During his time there, he scored 36 in 85, and since his debut for the Wolves, only Alexander Meyer has scored more at Frankfurt. And whilst at Sporting, Dost managed an impressive 2.8 shots per 90. That is lower than the 3 Luka Jovic made last campaign, but it's also more than the likes of Rebic and Haller. The Dutchman is also very strong in the air, standing at 6'5", winning 4 aerial duels a game. He won't be able to cover the output of Rebic, Jovic and Haller, but for just €7 million, Frankfurt have signed a proven goalscorer for next to nothing. Forward, Marcus Thuram. To another German side who have spent wisely this summer, Borussia Mönchengladbach may have lost their talented Torgan Hazard, but his replacement Marcus Thuram looks worthy of the number 10 shirt. Son of French legend Lillian, Marcus joins Gladbach from Gongamp for a fee of €12 million. Despite finishing bottom of Ligue 1, the 22-year-old was a bright spark in the side and showed real glimpses of quality. Predominantly a left winger, Thuram's 9 goals last campaign was 3 times more than any of his teammates and almost a third of their entire total for the season. Not only does he have an eye for goal, but he also possesses great dribbling skills. Last term he completed 3.2 dribbles per game, that's more than Nicolas Pepe managed at Lille. The Frenchman is also impressive in the air, winning an incredible 3.5 aerial duels a match, more than both Falcao and Romelu Lukaku. With Hazard's departure undoubtedly a big blow for Gladbach, we think Thuram can step up to fill his boots, especially with age on his side and a considerably smaller price tag. So that was our 11 of the biggest bargain transfers this summer. If you did enjoy it, make sure you slap a like on this video and hit subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you later.